Yo, what is going on, boys? Asian Sensation back with another video. In today's episode, we're going to be making a tier list. Based off the recent updates and everything, I'm just going to kind of give you guys my raw thoughts on what I think my tier list is, at least. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I might miss a few things, because obviously I'm not an expert on every single tower. However, I do think I know this game pretty well. So let's go ahead and S tier Banana Farm first. Pretty self-explanatory. Banana Farm's used in almost every single loadout. It's just so strong. Even with the Monkey Wall Street nerf in the recent update, it just dominates competitive and everything. So I think it's a clear-cut S-tier tower. Next on the list, I guess I would put Ninja up here too. I honestly think Ninja is that good. You know, you have all your bases covered. With the new round 30s Oh My God rushes, you can use Master Bomber to defend that rush, which is super useful. Sticky Bomb overall is just fantastic at dealing with DDT rushes. You have Ninja Alch strategies that are just phenomenal. It's just such a versatile tower as well, that it pretty much does anything you need it to. So I think it's definitely an S-tier tower. I think these are probably two best towers in the game right now. Two of the best towers in the game. However, I still think Dartling meta is a thing. So I'm going to put it in A, though. I think it's the best A tower. I really do. I think it's the best A tower. I don't think it's quite S tier. I think Ninja and Farm are better. But I'm gonna put it A. I'm gonna put it A for now. I might end up changing that. Bomb, I'm also gonna put A. Bomb is so cracked. And Bomb's starting to finally get more use as of late, just since the Dartling nerf. Because the cluster's so good early game. It's one of the best early game towers in the game. So, and it has good late game potential. Balloon Crush can defend. Balloon Crush is absurdly good, so it's just so good. You know, Bomb Farm Village is a great strat. Sub Farm Bomb I think could be meta on the new map Star, so that's another reason why I think Bomb deserves to be up there. Dart, where would we put Dart? Alright, so my raw thoughts on Dart is the Juggernaut is exceptional. You know, you can get up a jug for $1,800 and you're pretty much good till round 9, and I love my Dart Sentai combos because you can basically defend with a jug and a Sentai to like round 11, so it's super good. So I think it's a really good early game greed tower. I think triple shots is terrible in this game. Crossbow's not great at all. I think the only relevant things are really just Juggernauts and Plasma Fan Club. I think those are the only relevant things. So I might put it as a B tower, but it does have I'm gonna put it B for now. It does have really good early game. You can get really high eco with a good jug map. So on a map like Garden, I think Dart is an A tier tower. However, on a majority of the maps, I think it might be a B tower. I really do. NG, where do I want to put NG? I don't know yet here. It's probably a B tower as well. Like the Balloon Trap's good to counter eco, but in the era we're in currently, where farms just dominates, NG's not as good as it used to be because everyone's using farms, not eco and alt eco. So the Balloon Trap is obviously made worse because of that. However, I mean, it's still pretty good. You know, Triple XL's good. It's just I don't think it's great. I'm gonna leave it at B. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. Sub, definitely an A tower. I would say that Sub is the best E-camo in the game, pretty hands down. It's up there with Village, but Sub is just so much cheaper and useful. The first strike capability, phenomenal for mid-game rushes, rounds 22, you know, through 28, honestly. Given the fact that the ability can solo Oh My Gods, and that's pretty game-changing, and DDTs. Very strong tower. Recently buffed the preemptive strike as well, which is great. So, if it does go super late as well, you get the Energizer to make your abilities come back quicker, whether they're Moab Assassins or Druid farms, either or Heli farms. Just useful to have. However, you don't really see that very often. Alright. Where do I want to go next? Druid? I think Druid's an A tower. I think Druid's also an A tower. Druid is really strong still, and it doesn't get much credit lately because of the Dartling meta, but Druid sub Ice is still a very dominant strategy. Sub Druid is just an overall great combo. You can pretty much pair anything with it. Sub Druid SPAC is really good. Sub Druid Super if you really wanted to, but yeah, there's a lot of strats. Sub Druid Ninja is great as well. So I think it's really good. I think you can honestly, like in a Druid of Wrath buffed Druid with attack speed buffs, I mean, like a 2x2 can solo for a really long time. So it makes strats like sub Druid farm a really viable kind of aggressive strategy because of how good the early game is. That brings me to my next point of Tack Shooter. Tack Shooter's great. I feel like I'm gonna get slandered in the comments for this, but I might put it as a B tower still. I think its early game is one of the best things in this game. On Koru, Tack is amazing. It's by far, I would say, I don't think you could argue. I think Tack Farm is just too good on Koru. You can just greed like crazy. But there are limitations to it. I think it has actually gotten nerfed due to the last update of the groups Oh My Godsend becoming a thing. Because now that makes Tack Ice Village a lot more difficult to pull off. How are you going to defend constant all-out fortified Oh My Gods around 30 with Tack Ice Village in an anti-stall game? You're really not. So I mean, honestly, I don't know. The best, you pretty much need to pair Tack with either something like an aggro farm strat like Wiz Farm Tack, or you need like a passive like Tack Farm Ice where you need a lot of money to be able to get up an I-Ring and some other stuff to actually defend all-out fortified Oh My Gods around 30. Or else you're just going to die. Dude, the Tight Oh My Godsend is so good against Tack now that I think it's a B tower as opposed to its previous. I would previously put it in an A if the round 30 Tight Oh My God rush wasn't a thing. Okay. Next we have Heli. Heli's still super, super dominant. I think it's definitely an A tower. Definitely an A tower because the Chinook, still a fantastic alt eco option. The Moab Shove is honestly very strong for its price. I think potentially a little too strong. I would like to see a slight Moab Shove nerf. But yeah, strats like Heli Ice Village are taking over the game. It's evolving. It's evolving, bro. It's such a dominant strat. Like, Apache's actually viable now. Who would have thought? Like, when I first used it, I was one of the first people to get Heli Mastery. I'm like, this thing's dog water other than it's Heli farming and it's Mob Shove. But now the Apache's actually quite relevant when you pair it with things like Heli Ice Village. Dart Heli Ice is actually a viable strat that I've seen people go lately. So that's pretty cool. Ice, I think you could maybe argue is Ice S tier? Is it good enough to be S tier, bro? I don't know. I mean, it's so good. It does everything you need it to. The Embrittlement is one of the best upgrades in the game. Pairs so well with high DPS towers. You have the Icicle Impale, which is honestly one of the cheapest ways to defend DDTs. If not the cheapest, honestly, to defend constant DDTs. Because it has a built-in decamo. For now, I'm going to leave it an A. I might switch that up. Also, these are not in order, by the way. The A's are not in order. I mean, Ice just does everything you need to. Like, it's so good. You have the Ice Stall. You can freeze water, which honestly can be super useful in late game situations. Super Brittle just pairs so well with towers like Apache, Tack Zone. And those are like the main ones. But it's just really, really strong tower, I think. I think it's definitely an A tower at the very minimum. Glue Gunner, I'm going to put in B. I think it's... Is it a C tower, bro? It might be C. I'm going to put it C for now. Putting it C for now. The reason being is it just gets outclassed by everything. Like, Ninja Ice just outclassed in terms of stalling capabilities. Sure, you have, like, constant glue, as opposed to having to, like, usually use, like, a Sabo, or use a, Absolute Zero ability, or Snowstorm ability. But the thing is, once you get a Master Bomber and Icicle Impale, you're not worried about stalling, because you have those upgrades to stall, so... I don't know. Glue just gets outclassed by this other stalls, in my opinion. So I think it deserves to be a C, honestly. I think you can work it into strats. Like Sub Druid Glue is a viable strat, but it's just not as good as like Sub Druid Ice and Sub Druid Ninja, in my opinion. So we'll leave it in C. The first C of the series so far. Boomer, I'm also putting in C because Boomer, you know, it's a decent tower. It's great early game tower. Don't get me wrong. I know I have a lot of Boomer fans in the chat. But after round 30, this thing is pretty irrelevant. I'm gonna be honest. But it's obviously relevant on a map like, say, Koru or something. You could go some sub-Boomer and be aggro and pull it off pretty well, sure. But after round 30, it's a useless tower. It really is. Like, the permacharge is okay. It's not great at all. It just gets outclassed by everything else. So yeah, I think just solely based on the fact that it doesn't do anything late game, think it's worthless. Like, all these other towers above it all have much better late game. You have Triple XL, you have Plasma Fan Club, you have Tack Zone, I could go on. All the 5th tiers are just better. So I'd like to see some boomer buffs to 5th tiers, maybe to make it more viable, but I mean, it actually is pretty balanced, though, I would say, just because of how good it is early to mid-game. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. I think it's a C tower. Wiz, I'm also putting C. Wiz, bro, I mean, they recently buffed Pod. Still, is it viable? I don't know. I haven't really used it much, but before then, I don't think I was telling Bolty Boy this and some of the other Bloonstubers, but like, how many times have you seen like 5th tier Wizzes other than Prince of Darkness in an actual game in Battles 2? So rarely. It's like a freaking Articuno, bro. You ain't seeing that anywhere else. Like, it's just a rare freaking beast. So, I don't know. There's a reason for that. Like, Wiz Farm Tack, it's a good loadout. It's a good loadout, but that's really the only viable loadout I see with this tower right now. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. It's only good for one aggro strategy. That's how I see it, and that's just how it is. I would like to see some buffs to Wizard or Phoenix as well as Archmage, but we'll see if that happens. What do I want to go with next? Mortar, I think it's C as well. I mean, sub is just better in most cases. Sure, the Blue Incineration can defortify Oh My Gods, which is nice. It's definitely nice. And I personally love strat like Bomb, Mortar, Farm on a map like Castle Ruins. I think it's a really good strat. Same with Core, it's somewhat viable. But the thing is, I don't know, dude. I just don't like Mortar, man. The 5th tiers are absolutely terrible. I mean, it's just not great. Artillery Betty's fair, but it's definitely just a C rank tower, and I'll leave it at that. I mean, that's just really all it is. All right, Buccaneer, I'll put in B tier. I'll put it in B tier. Pretty much you only see boat with Alch buff situations, Alch buff strategies. So probably the best boat strat is boat Alch Spac at this point in time, as well as boat Sniper Village. Those are probably the two best. And Alch buff boat is phenomenal. Homeland buffed aircraft carrier is phenomenal. But boat farming slowly becoming better and better. They've buffed it in multiple updates, which is awesome. I was asking for that immediately because it made no sense to ever boat farm until as of recent. But I think it's just a B tower. P-Lord's great. Boat farming's okay, I guess. On water dominant maps, boat's very viable. So that's good. I think sub is just probably still a better tower overall. That's why I think sub is A tier, just because of its versatility, but we'll leave it at B. Alchemist. Okay, actually, let's do Super. I'm gonna put Super in C. Super in C. It's just, Super's not a bad tower. It's just really expensive. And with ramping and such, rounds 30 plus, it's really hard to have enough money to make this thing viable in a competitive standpoint. Because good players will make sure you don't have a ton of money late game if they know you have Super. Because why would they want someone to have a ton of money with one of the most expensive yet good towers? So, I don't know. I think it's C. I think Dark Knights are good. Tech Terror is a great ability, but you don't really see people running Super very often, and there's a reason for it, at least in comp. Ace, I put C as well. Do I have any D towers? I don't think I'll have any D towers as of now. Ace, I think, is C. They're making strides to make it better. The 5th tiers suck, other than Zarbomba. However, because of the recent patch, with the Tight Oh My God Sense, this makes Ace a lot better. Because the Zarbomba becomes relevant. Stalling those Oh My Gods and popping those Oh My Gods makes this thing so freaking useful. So I think that's a huge change. I think we just need buffs to the 5th tiers, top and bottom paths. And other than that, it's a pretty solid tower. You know, it's very, very viable on ports. Strats like Sub, Alch, Ace is phenomenal on that map. So I'd love to see some more love to the Ace from NK for the 5th tiers, because I think it'd be a much more viable tower. But we'll have to wait and see. Spactory, yeah. Village. Where do I want Village? Village is probably B. I think Village is B. Bottom path Village is great, 3rd tier and 4th tier, to get that extra eco. So it makes strats that are eco based that have Village in it a lot better. Being able to get 20% more eco is super, super, super useful. So I think that's great. Obviously you have camo with the radar scanner. Primary expertise is great for strats like Bomb Farm Village, Dart Village is really, really strong. But I think, yeah, I think a lot of people still go sub. You know, there's a reason people go sub Druid Ice a lot more than Druid Ice Village, I guess. Because Decam is even just cheaper for Submergent support. Sniper, honestly, I think is an A tower. I think you put Sniper A tier. It's so good. Elite Sniper is phenomenal. One of the best alt ecos in the game that also does popping for you. I personally love Sniper strategies. I've been using Sniper a ton and having a lot of success with it because of how good the Elite Sniper is, because of how good the crit pull debuff is. So I think Sniper is just overall a fantastic tower. Main Moab is so underrated that it just makes this thing a beast. You know, you have Main Moab for any Moab rush imaginable. You have Cripple for debuffs, which helps with bads, and it's just an overall beast. So that's that. Spectre, because of the super mines, I want to put it A, but I'm going to leave it B, I think. I'm going to leave it B. I don't like putting it B, dude. I really don't. I really don't. Super mines is great, but at the same time, it's a $110,000 upgrade. The 3x2 SPAC, which is the spiked balls with smart spikes, is super strong right now for its price, which could make an argument for having it A. Plus Spike Storm's actually cracked. I kind of want it A, but I think it might just be the best B tower, so I'm just going to move it over here. I will make these ordered, actually, after I go through this. Then Alk. Alk, I think, is just B as well. Alk's great. Alk's good. Total Transformation's phenomenal on strats like Ninja Heli Alk. Unstable Concoction's phenomenal. It's just a pure support tower, so it's kind of hard to like place it meta-wise. It's not nearly as good as it was when Tack Village Alk was the meta when the game first came out, obviously. But I think it's a B tower. All right, I'm gonna do some reflecting, come up with my final tier list, and we'll see you then. All right, I think this is what I'm going with. I don't know if we have any other tier towers other than Farm and Ninja right now. I really don't. This is gonna be my list, boys. Let me know what you guys think. I have these all in order. Honestly, don't look too much into the within the tier order, but just the SABC, just keep in mind with that. Let me know what you guys think. If you would change anything, let me know. I mean, I think it makes sense. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of video. Let me know. Definitely mixing it up. Kind of had some difficulties getting some good content battles-wise, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to do a tier list this video. Might do this with maps and heroes eventually too, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Yeah.